We're live! What's going on, everybody? Michael here. It's your favorite boy, Michael from Technoid. How you guys doing tonight? Hope you all are doing excellent. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you guys for an awesome Friday night chat. I cannot wait to get this going. I am super hyped. I have never been this hyped before. Tonight's live stream is a special one. I will explain as the show goes on. But thank you, everybody, for coming on. I really appreciate all of you coming into the house. I really appreciate you all being here. So, without further ado, let's do a quick roll call. Raph is in the house. Thank you for hounding it, Raph. Really appreciate you doing this. Bobby, how you doing? Good to have you on, Bobby. Looks like you guys were going at it before. The SMT is moderating tonight, although he's probably going to be here tonight anyway. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Let's see, who else do we have in here tonight? Let's take a look. Cesar Lopez is in the house. How you doing, Cesar? We got a new user, Sioka. I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry if I offend. Thank you for coming on. We already got our first super chat of the night. Thank you, Cesar Lopez. We got Baby Yoda's in the house. Brennan, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. We got Blue Eyed Tech in the house. We got Alex coming in. Carlos S. Tech is in the house. I don't know what he's using. I'm going to have to use Google Translate. I'm sorry, Carlos. We got Jose in the house. We got Harper. Arshin, did I say that right? I'm sorry. Again, I am really bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. And it looks like we are up to date. So tonight's live stream is a very special live stream. So I am going to use this live stream as a charity. So I am going to use the live stream to raise money for the Good Fight Foundation. Now, I have been using the previous videos that I have set to use as a donation. We will be adding this video on top of the money that is made on tonight's video with the exclusion of super chats. That's just for me. But for monetization purposes, sharing it, everything, all that goes to the Good Fight Foundation on top of a personal donation that I will be making to the Good Fight. I will round up all the money and then we will donate it to the Good Fight Foundation. So tonight, I have a very special guest. This is his first time on the channel. This is the first time he's been on here. I've been watching him for a while now. I said, I got to get this guy on. He is a very nice person, a very nice individual. I really am honored to have him on tonight. And the truth is, I'll explain why as we go. But ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the man known as Alpha Rakama, or as his nickname on the stream, Rakama Tech. Rakama! Welcome to the live stream.
What's going on, y'all? It's actually Rakama Tech. But yeah, my name's Alpha Rakama. That's the name I have on my channel, just in case I decide to put some other content up there. But yeah, I pretty much do tech stuff. I do anything from gadgets to where he found me. He found me doing a smart speaker, not a smart speaker, but the Roku speakers, Roku wireless speakers. And he's got my channel pulled up there. But yeah, I mean, I love to talk tech. I mean, I've been doing tech stuff since I was a teenager, and you know, I just like to have fun and just do tech. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's talk tech.
I am so sorry I called your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm bad with names. That's just me. I'm bad with names. I'm so sorry. But yes, guys, this is what was it one more time?
my name's Alpha. I mean, you can call me Alpha, but you know, or Rakama Tech, either one.
Rakama Tech. I got it now. Rakama Tech. So this was the first video, like he said, this was the first one I watched. When I saw the video, I was in the process of looking for a sound system, and this really got me going. I watched it. It was very nice, and something that I feel a lot of people need to do when they watch a video is relate. And I instantly hit it off. As soon as I saw this video, I was like, yes, this guy is 100. I like him. So I subscribed. Then I've been watching more and more of your videos, and they got really nice as they went along. And then I was like, you know what? He seems like a really fun guy to talk tech with. So then I decided to ask you if you wanted to come on. And from there, we took our time. So once again, I want to thank you for coming on. And guys, this is his channel. I'm gonna post a link in the live chat. I want you all to do me a huge favor. I want you all to go and subscribe to Alpha's channel, and do me all a favor. You see this like bar? It says 10 likes. I see we have 12 people in here. If we can get him 22 likes on this Canon webcam impression video, and trust me, by the way, you definitely going to want to watch this for you content creators. Give this man 22 likes, and I promise you all, I will do a giveaway. I swear on my mother, I swear on my word, I will do it. And also show him the love and support of the Technoid Nation and the SMT Nation. Go check him out. Great YouTuber, great person, great content all around. So please, guys, go check him out. So, how'd I do? Did I disappoint you? Was that on point?
I appreciate it. And by the way, speaking of that whole Canon utility, that's what I'm using right now. That's what I had an issue at the beginning. but it is working now.
That's good. You know,
really, it was user error because I didn't even have the thing plugged in. I hadn't had my USB cord plugged in. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Why is it not working? But I worked that out because I forgot I had taken that USB cord out and plugged it into something else. But we good. I mean, I haven't had any issues with this thing since that video.
Of course. And hey, listen, it looks great. It looks a lot better than what I'm using. I'm using a MacBook camera that's 720. So take what you could get. That's what I settle on. All right. So tonight's the night. So guys, this live stream is going to be a long one. I really hope you all can sit through it and relax. But most of all, I want y'all to have fun. So before we start this stream, I just have one question for everybody. Are you ready? Hashtag yeah in the comment section. I want to see it now. All right. I am very cringy. I am almost as cringy as Viper. I'm sorry. But we got to start this video. So guys, tonight's live stream is going to be a special one. I am going to be talking 10 different news articles. This is going to be like its own episode on its own. So please, guys, if you have the patience, let's stick with it. Let's watch this whole thing through the end. And also, again, everybody that watches, all the ad revenue that is made on this video is going to support the Good Fight Foundation. Now, with that out of the way, let's bring in our second guest, the man that will also be joining us in this, someone that I personally love to call a brother, a friend of mine, the man that got me on the right path in Alpha. I want to introduce you to the person that will also be your tool should you ever need him, and also a great individual. You're definitely going to want to check him out. His name is Sneed Mobile Tech. Here he is. Sam, the SMT, is in the house. Welcome in, Sam. And Alpha, this is the man, the myth, the legend, the guru of whatever they call telecom, cellular YouTubers.
Thanks, bro. Thank you. Yeah, wireless telecom, man. That's what I do. That's my specialty. That's my lane.
The best thing about Sam that I will say is he has a great community of people that are willing to discover new things. And I hope by the end of this, we can help expand you and help you get, you know, a lot more exposed into the SMT Nation so more people could watch you, more people that could see what you bring to the table. That is the goal of what I do with live streams when people come on. I want people to discover new users because I always believe there are other better creators than myself. And if I speak for you, Sam, maybe you as well. I don't want to sound mean, but you bring something great to the table, Alpha, with not only your reviews, but your composure, the way you present yourself. So I really think that's a great thing that people should have. So definitely check him out, guys. All right. Enough talking. Enough with the whole blah, 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 blah. Let's get the show going. So tonight, we're going to do this simple. We're going to do it the way I always do all my shows. We're going to start off with a news article. We're going to have each of you talk. We're going to let you get your opinions in. I will mostly try to stay in the background, but most of this I've already covered. Some of this I wanted to bring back because it's still relevant, and hopefully, let's get this going. So, are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. With that, we are underway. So the first story we're going to start with Apple tonight. Now, Sam, I know you don't really like Apple, but we got to do it. Pull the Band-Aid off. So first story up is the iPhone 12. Now, as you know, there have been a ton of reports. There have been a ton of problems with this whole issue of the wireless charging situation. Now, as you know, there have been some reports, and now there are more confirmation as there have been real surveys that are sending out. Also, by the way, shout out to Tito Aloha Android. Thank you for coming on. They are not going to ship a charger in the box or Earpods. So before I talk about the story, I want you guys to get your opinions in. We're going to start with you, Alpha. I want you to discuss where do you stand with the whole Apple charging brick and Earpods not in the box. I want to hear what you have to say.
Wow, we had that discussion a little bit before. We got a little riled up. So, I mean, ultimately, there's no excuse for that, and I know that is going to lead into the next subject, but Samsung as well, or other OEMs, because Apple kind of starts this trend, and they typically like to just do things, and then people just tend to follow. So this year, it's like every time, and I did another video on things that I dislike about Apple. And I mean, I'm not saying that entirely I hate Apple or anything like that, because I've got a lot of Apple products. I've got a MacBook, I've got an iPhone, I've got an iPad, so I can really speak from actual owning these devices. And for me, I like their products, but I don't like their practices. So when it comes specifically to what they're doing this year, we're taking away the charger. Like they started off with the whole we're taking the whole they took the headphone jack off first, and then people followed suit. Now they're doing this, and people gonna follow suit with that. And so it's annoying, honestly. Like they really don't have a reason to do that. I mean, honestly, we know it's bottom line. That's point blank. That's it. Is that they just want to, keep money in their pocket. So it's going to cost them less to manufacture the phone, and they're just basically keeping more money. And it's wrong, honestly. I mean, honestly, I think it's ethically wrong for them to actually keep doing that, because so what are they going to do? You know what? Back a few years ago, somebody actually did a meme back with Apple. Like every year, they're just taking stuff away. So eventually, what they're going to do is take away all ports, and you're just going to get a phone. That's it. Like they're going to eventually take away the charging port. So they figure, oh, you can just use wireless charging. And they're going to take away buttons. HTC did that one year where they didn't have any actual buttons. They had those little capacitive volume buttons. That's probably going to be next. But ultimately, I think it's a bad marketing ploy for them. Like they really are going the wrong direction of taking away things that they should be giving the consumer. I don't care if I've had 10 iPhones. Like that's something that you should just be, because when you're spending upwards of $1,000 plus on a phone, like you need to give me everything. Point blank. There is no like, oh, we overlooked this, or we think this might be better. No, just give me everything. At least that's my take on it. But I'll let Sneed Mobile Tech throw his opinion in, but I just think that's trash. I'm gonna call it what it is.
It's fair. It's fair.
Man, I really wish that I could disagree, but I can't. I can't disagree. There's no way you could slice it that would justify not providing a charging hardware to do it. Here's the thing. There are, without a doubt, going to be first-time iPhone buyers, first-time smartphone buyers that are going to buy this device, and there will not be a charging brick included. There are no doubt people that have lost chargers, damaged chargers, where they need the new one, and it should come in the box. The last I checked, cars came with batteries, and you don't have to pay extra. The last I checked, you buy a microphone, it comes with a cable to give it power to your, whatever it is. Every computer comes with a power cable. Every device, whatever it needs to function properly, needs to be included in the box from the manufacturer. The standard and the precedent that they will set is so bad for consumers. I will stand by the statement now and say I will not buy a new iPhone if it does not come with a charging element. If it is absent, I will not buy it. Not new. I might buy it used secondhand off of someone, but I will not be a part of the new buyers supporting that practice. I refuse. There has to be some form of principle in there, because what happens here is Samsung's next. Motorola is next. LG is next. They all start thinking it's okay. Sony is next. Google is next. We've seen it time and time again where Apple sets some stupid, lame-o precedent, and then it becomes a market trend. And it's so bad for the consumer. In my opinion, a phone that has the ability to fast charge should come with a fast charger. If companies want to innovate and kick Apple in the butt, they should do the opposite of Apple. They should provide the fast charger in the box. LG, Moto, whoever is trying to compete with Apple, Samsung, go ahead and do what Apple will not do. And then maybe that makes a difference to consumer numbers. Maybe they look at it and say, you know what? iOS really isn't that great. It's fine, but it's not going to be the deciding factor between me buying a device or buying a different one. I personally refuse. I will not buy a new phone if the phone is a fast charging capable phone, a feature that it is going to highlight, a selling point, 20 watt, 30 watt charging, and it does not come with that charger. I'm not going to buy it. That makes no sense. Are you going to sell me the phone for $500? Are you going to sell it to me for $600? Are you giving me a discount? If the answer to that is no, I'm not buying it. You need to include the proper charging mechanism so that way I can use your device as you intended it to be used. If you want to give me a discount for not including a charger, I'll take that. I'll use that discount to buy a charger. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
All right. Well, you both really said what I was going to say, so there's very little that I can add. But if I could, I've been on record. I even went full rated R and kind of calling out Apple, and I don't regret it because there is no excuse why you're removing the charging brick. The only real reason why Apple is doing this is simply because they can, and people will buy their accessories. They know by taking that charger out, people are still going to buy. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what we do. They're going to make a crap load of money. Take, for example, the Note 10 Plus. When it first came out, there was a 45-watt optional charger. You could have the option of buying the 45-watt, and you get even faster charging speeds. Hardly anybody bought that charger, and if they did, they sent it back because Samsung screwed their own sales up by making the 25-watt just as good as the 45-watt. The only real difference was 10 minutes apiece. And consumers were smart and said, why would I need to spend all the extra money on a charger, but the one that comes in the box can do just as good a job? So that's one reason why Samsung would do that. And we'll discuss Samsung going in that path as we talk about the story. But here's where I don't agree with this. There are people now defending this choice, saying that it's a whole, it's an eco-healthy friendly choice. And to that I counter, do y'all know that AirPods are not eco-friendly? They can't replace the parts in AirPods. They have to dispose of them and still cannot reuse the battery, the CPU components. People always have a tendency to want to fall on that and make that a liable argument. Okay, if you want to make that a liable argument, then why won't you mention AirPods? Why won't you mention the fact of the LCD displays? What happens after they've been disassembled? How do they reuse? Nobody wants to mention the nitty-gritty because they don't want to accept the reality that this is a bad move. They're just trying to defend Apple and its status. And I say this on record. Android fans use fast charging more than wireless charging. That's a fact because what they get in the box does the job. And if you guys disagree, that's your opinion. I respect it. But I'm going to say this. Taking the charger out of the box is not only a bad move, but to the customer standpoint, from a value standpoint, I'm going to turn on my business end. That's value lost. Because when a consumer opens a box, they want to be greeted with a variety of accessories to feel that their money has been well spent. Now, for some people, they don't care about that. But in the business world and business practices of marketing, packaging, the human eyes are something that's something we can never adjust how important that is. Our sight, when we look at our first glance, when a consumer opens the box, the first thing they see is the phone. Taking off that box, you then see your headphones, you see your charging brick, and your cable. Regardless of whether it's ludicrous, that 5-watt, it's still a charger. Now you're going to take away two of them. You're going to take away the brick and the headphones. So when a consumer opens the box, they're going to say, well, what the hell is this? Why is there only a cable in here? How am I supposed to plug this thing in? That means you're going to make them pay $19 to get your 20-watt fast charger. You're going to make them spend money on third-party manufacturers, which I support. I am happy for third-party manufacturers because Apple will not get a profit off that. USB-C is universal. So the only thing they can get a profit on is the cable. But my point is they shouldn't have to, because just putting it in the box would be easy. And it costs them about 35 cents or less to manufacture that 5-watt brick. You're telling me that's going to save you $50 on an iPhone? I'm sorry. There's no way I can defend that.
There's something interesting about what the iPhone SE brought this year in terms of value. Why were they so compelled to give a great value in that product, in which they gave you this year's processor, good camera performance, they brought the home button back for people that wanted it, the old form factor, but it packed a great value. You're going to sell an iPhone brand new for $400, right? Why did they feel compelled to give that phone so much value and then take away value from the phones that are more expensive? That's strange to me. I feel like they took a step forward in value for consumers, and now they're taking 2 steps back. I'm missing something here. Like, I don't understand, because they might as well just hand you the phone when you buy it. Why the box? Why? Like, what? You could use eSIM and pre-install a SIM card. You don't, like, why are you wasting paper then? If we're going to call this an eco-friendly practice, just no products, no branding, no ink, no extra storage, none of, bro. Go up to the Apple store, walk up to one of the ladies or the gentleman wearing a mask, say, I'd like to buy an iPhone. They ask you which one you want, you tell them, and they go and hand it to you. And it says, welcome to the iPhone, and set it up. Why even bother with the box? I mean, if you really want to talk about being eco-friendly, why bother with even the box or any of the other stuff? Pamphlets and booklets or whatever else.
And people don't even read those booklets. Find me somebody that does. I dare the two of you. Find me somebody that reads the booklets. Somebody find me somebody.
I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. That's why I don't believe in what they say. To me, Apple is disingenuous. To me, Apple, they will never tell you what you want to know. They will tell you what they want you to know, what they think you need to know, right? So that, they said we were courageous and we got rid of the headphone jack. That was a total Bluetooth headphone move. They said, we had to put the notch. No, they didn't. They did that because it was the easiest way for them, to add screen real estate, but keep all the stuff at the top. Like they don't tell you the truth about anything. They just tell you what's in their best interest. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they did this. I wouldn't. They would, but I do think they would be setting a bad precedent.
Alpha, anything you want to say?
I was just adding to Stacy's comment just now. I threw that in the chat. She said Nintendo actually did the same thing, and I remember that it was a few years ago with new 3DS or whatever they called it, and literally they just sold you that for like $200 or whatever, and they didn't throw a power cord in there. So
that's horrible.
That you already have one. Like, what's up with that trend?
Well, I remember that. I remember it back in the day. I was young. The 3DS was everywhere. Everybody wanted it. I remember a lot of people were mad because some of them didn't even have a DS. Some of them never owned it. So that was their first time getting it.
Was it a micro USB or was it a USB-C?
Micro. That was way back. Might have been a little bit different plug. It's been a while. Well, the reason why we're having this discussion, and this is our first story, so we got to start picking up some steam, is according to an okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like this is a made-up analysis guy from Mac Rumors because they want to challenge John Prosser. Jeff Poo.
Stress in it.
Let's just talk about it. So according to Mac Rumors and this analysis, quote unquote, he believes that the iPhone 12 pricing will start $50 higher even without earpods and chargers in the box. Now, let's be honest here. before I even start the story, I do not trust this. And I'm going to tell you why. Because first of all, this Jeff Poo, we've never seen him in the news. It just came out because John was talking about the iPhone SE, and Mac Rumors got a little fight with John because they wouldn't source him, so they had to try and find. So until you can show me a picture that this guy actually exists, I don't believe him. But I will say, if by 1% chance that this is a notable analysis, that this guy actually is true, this kind of then just backs up what I've been saying and what we've all been saying. This is not because they're going to cut down money. They just want you to buy their accessories. And I think if this is true, if the iPhone, and let me clarify something to you guys. This is only for the iPhone 12 and 12 Max. This is not for the Pro and the Pro Max. The Pro and Pro Max for that price point will still continue to support the USB-C charger in the box. So I just want to clear that up. I don't want you guys to think it's going to be all the models. From what I'm hearing, because the Pro and Pro Max are above the $1,000 mark, they can still put the charger in the box. But to me, that sounds ludicrous. So my question to you guys, and then we're going to move on after the story, is if the iPhone is going to be $50 higher, if it is, does this back up the claims that you guys have been making? I want to start with Alpha first. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
You know, like you said, it doesn't sound credible. Somebody we've never heard from, the guy named Jeff Poo, coming out with a claim. So you have no credibility. I can see back in the day when we had, there was that leaker. I forgot what his name was, but he was the one that kind of put out everything about like the phones. Like
Ming Chi Kuo?
Who are we talking about?
Is that the guy, Ming Chi Kuo?
No, there was another guy. I think Evan
Blass. Evan Bless. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that guy. He had like a little controversy before he went out with somebody else, but
he's pedophile.
Mm.
Yeah.
But regardless of his, and that's terrible, but regardless of that, he was still accurate with his leaks, because every time he said something, we had proof. There was proof to the everything, all the rumors that he dropped. There was always some kind of credibility or some kind of, there's an inkling that shows, okay, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. But to just drop this and say, hey, it's going to be $50 higher, I don't see that being a possibility. It doesn't seem like there's a trail, a paper trail to show that, hey, there's definitely proof on this. But it could be a claim. I guess we'll have to see how that comes out, because I'm thinking more likely that they'll probably still drop the phone at the same price. I don't think they're going to charge more. I don't think they're going to charge less. I think it's just going to be the same price. So like for instance, like last year, whatever reason. However, I will say this to Apple's defense: the iPhone 11 itself, the base model, was $50 less than the iPhone XR from the previous year, even though it's technically the same type of phone with different internals.
Right.
But I think with this year, I think they're going to shoot for just keeping the prices the same. So this is going to be their cop out of saying, hey, there's a reason for not raising the prices. You can still get this phone at the same price, and they're going to drop a little. They're going to drop, last year's prices for last year's model and compare it to, well, hey, look, we didn't raise the price on you guys, and then that's just going to make the Apple fans go nuts, as always. But that's just my take on it.
All right, Sam.
Well, if they're taking out any element of the charging, like the charging brick, for example, well, it would make no sense for them to increase pricing. That would be insane. That would make absolutely no sense. You're going to take away and decrease the bill of materials into producing that product and then charge more? No. So to me, I think the entry level, whatever it is, the standard flagship, which should be the iPhone 12, we'll assume.
Yes.
Yeah, that one, I think, like Rakama Tech was saying, I think that one should be the same price. At least, in my opinion, it should cost less. They took away the brick. So they should make it cost less. I mean, in my opinion, they should be cutting costs elsewhere. They should be cutting costs on their marketing. They should be cutting costs on their extra spending on programs that are unnecessary. Shave the fat somewhere else. Don't shave the fat off the consumer. You know what I mean? But in terms of like the premium, the pro models, the bill of materials on the pro models are like $350. If a phone costs you $350 and you're selling it for $1,000, where's all the $650 going? I don't, you know, like there really doesn't need to be a price increase, because what has happened is they have actually decreased the production cost by mainstreaming parts manufacturing, right? So they now are going to own their own chipsets and produce their own chipsets. They're going to have their own modem hardware starting next year. Maybe they're looking at it like maybe we do have to raise pricing, which I would say to Rakama Tech, if they do increase the pricing, it's because they started using Qualcomm chips. And if you look at all the Android flagships, they're quite pricey this year, right? Because they got 5G standard built into the 865 chip. So maybe it's the addition of the 5G modem hardware that's in the SoC now. They might be saying, well, we're going to have to bump it $50 or $100. That's possible. Although I don't agree with it, that is possible.
Yeah, I'm going to back up Sam here. Even though I am under the impression this is not a real story, or at least a real reliable sourcer, because this just came out with this person, and I've never seen him in all of the time that I've been watching the tech world since 2015 and 16. But that would be a reason, even though, like you said, it's not a viable reason, but that's a reason. Using the Qualcomm modem set, and the thing is, they are supposed to be. They're supposed to be using Qualcomm modems in this year's iPhone. The only thing they're not using is the antenna system, because they don't like the design of it. They want to make their own in-house antennas. But for me, I say this. If you're going to raise the price, just keep the stuff in the box then and just argue. But if you're going to take stuff away anyway to lower the price, why would you raise it? So for me, I'm kind of also going to branch off a little bit of you, Alpha, and I'm going to also say that this doesn't feel like it holds a lot of weight. But again, there is a % chance that this could be a real story. I don't trust the analysis they're using, and I don't trust it. I only trust Ming Chi Kuo, John Prosser, and maybe if you want to throw in a couple of real mainstream news sourcers there. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Now we got to move on because we got to start picking up a little bit. Let's talk Apple Glass. Now, if you guys don't know anything about that, that is Apple's upcoming glasses that they're working on. Like, they're not a VR set, but like glasses you wear that have software. I don't know if you guys have heard of the concept, but again, Front Page Tech talked about it. Well, according, again, back to Mac Rumors, however, this time with more reliable sources, this time coming from The Information. That's an actual real credible news outlet. So thankfully, I did some fact checking there. So apparently, it seems from what I was able to read, the Apple Glass, this new Apple whatever, this new system they're working on, apparently they were going to be working with Foxconn in trying to make the augmented reality headset, but in the style of lenses. So when you look into the glasses, they will be on the lens. So basically, it's kind of a slimmer version, if you want to go by that. The report indicates, though, that this technology, however, is far from even close to being real. They're saying that this version headset will probably be launching in 2023, so you're going to have 3 full years to work on this thing. So I want to ask you guys a question. I don't know if you guys care about glasses, AR glasses. I personally don't. I don't know where they come up with this stuff, but some people like it. Hey, if this product gets released in the style that they're hoping for, something like this, how do you feel it would be on the market? And in your opinion, do you think it'll be a popular product? I want to hear. So we'll start with Sam first. I just got to do something real quick. I'll be right back. But Sam, the floor is yours.
The product, the product is interesting. It's a new product to the market. There's nothing that I would say like anybody would have, you know, like some kind of a previous experience with something similar. It'd be kind of new to a lot of people. Most people, when they have like the second or third or fourth variation of something, they know what to expect. I don't know if people really know what to expect out of this product, nor do I think they truly understand what it's designed for. So it's going to require some adjustment and probably some research for people to do before they go in on this product. It may be a situation where like generation 1 is slowly adopted and then generation 2 has more. It probably becomes more capable, has more features and things that it can do. I don't know, man. I don't look at this product and say I got to have it. You know, I don't look at the product and say it's going to change my life or it's going to make my life more convenient. It's going to do something for me to make me more productive. I don't look at it that way. Maybe I need more proof of concept. Maybe I need to see it in action. I don't know. We'll see, you know. But being that it's going to be a first generation product, I think the hardest part is going to be, are people able to connect with its use? Are they going to look at it and say, this is what I need as my next piece of technology that is going to make my life easier or more efficient or make me a more productive individual using this tech? And then I think pricing matters too. Where does it come in? We don't have a baseline. Like I said, there's no precedence where it's like, oh, well, when they did this back then, this company was charging this much. We don't really have that because Google Glass never really hit the mainstream and it never really went into high-end productivity.
Yeah,
so
it didn't even make it past.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I think, and to be honest with you, I don't think Apple truly innovates technology. They mainstream technology. I've never looked at Apple as an innovator. They mainstream it, sure. But I think also that's the fact that their market share is so strong here in the United States. That's why they mainstream it. It's not that they're really doing anything special. They make sure that it works after multiple generations of testing and other companies failing. So to me, I've never looked at them as an innovative company, but this would be cool if they did innovate it because we don't really have anything else to compare to. So I like the concept. I like the idea. I don't know how much success they get from it. There's a lot of things that would get in the way of it becoming a popular product that will sell great, you know?
All right. Alpha, I'm gonna say this and I'll let you finish it. But yeah, I agree. I like the concept. I think the idea of you putting on a pair of glasses and being able to see software in the real world and interact, kind of like how an Apple Watch does, I like the concept. I think that's a cool premise. I think that's like the thing we dreamed of in the 50s and 60s. Like that's kind of the future look. That's like what people envision the future. The only problem is that this project is really going to take a while because Apple plans on making a line from, according to John Prosser, they're going to have prescription glasses made. They're going to have prescription styles, non-prescription styles like sunglasses. They're going to have versions that have styles and different variations, and we don't know how they're going to be priced. Who knows? $500, $600? Who knows? Now, I do agree there is nothing on the market like this. The only thing that ever came close was the Google Glass, and it did not make it past the production line. And lastly, my only problem with this glasses is that most people tend not to buy things when they first come out, first generation products. I was one of those people. The only product that I was willing to take a risk on was the iPhone 10. And that was actually, it aged pretty well because it only took software support to kind of really just tweak it because the phone itself was fine. But I believe there's going to be a lot more people that are going to say, you know something, let me just wait, let it establish itself, and then I'll make a decision. Because you got to take into consideration, and Pete brings it up too, the antennas, if this thing is going to be cellular, bending issues, warranty, plans, like we don't even know. So I think, for me, take all the time you need, because the chances of another company doing this in the span of 3 years, to me, I don't see it happening right away. I see this being a really, really big thing that's going to take some time to perfect. But knowing Apple, they tend to want to perfect technology. Vlad, thank you for coming on. He pointed that out. Apple tends to try and perfect things. And if they can do this, a first-generation product where it feels perfect to a touch, then I think you have something. Apple could have also innovated with AirPower when it was first announced, and of course we all know how that went out. But they are in the process of working on it, retweaking it, and it seems like they've got the heating issue solved, and it looks like they've got the Apple Watch situation taken care of. So I would love to see this. I would really like to see this concept bring to life. That might be a good reason for me to go back to Apple with their innovation, because I want Apple to innovate. I don't want them to not innovate. I just, this is a great idea. I like it. And that's where I stand on it. Alpha, you go right ahead.
So for me, with Apple making this move, we kind of got to look just like Sam said. Like we kind of have to look at where have we been with augmented reality. So we look at what Google Glass did, and then we still have Microsoft still kind of pending with that HoloLens. I don't know if y'all followed Microsoft with that HoloLens product, but I don't think it's still like it's not mainstream, but that there's potential there that Apple could make this mainstream. No, yeah, I mean it's a true fact that no, they did not. They're not the first to try this whole realm of augmented reality. But my whole take on augmented reality is looking at it from the perspective of between AR and VR. Like, there was some hype about VR for a while, and some people are still like VR loyalists, but I see there's more potential in AR because VR requires you to be in one place at one time, where AR you can take it anywhere. So there is potential there, and for AR to succeed, it's going to take some big companies that actually have a lot of capital and they can afford to take a loss. Because when you look at Google, they released that Google Glass at $2,000, and at that time it was sticker shock. But now we got phones that are over 2,000. So now so if they release, I'm thinking if they do release this, it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost more than an iPhone. That's a fact. Because you're talking about something that could possibly integrate services on your face. So, and another thing, it might be like around the perfect time for it to come out, just because with this whole pandemic, nowadays when you try to look at your phone and you got a mask on your phone doesn't even recognize your face. So think about it. If you had the glasses on and they're already unlocked, you can already kind of do some things without having to unlock your phone, even with a mask on. So there's a lot of potential that Apple does have with glasses that can do that, but it's still a very high risk product. I mean, we just have to state it as is. Google failed. Once again, Microsoft is kind of like they're working on it in the background, and they're kind of not like make, what I'm saying, they haven't like kind of like put that thing on the shelves for everybody to get their hands on, because it's a high risk product. But like Technoid said, like Michael said, it'll be a great thing for Apple to like make it mainstream, because they did the same thing with wireless charging. Like Android phones have had wireless charging like forever, and then when Apple does it, it was everywhere. So I'd like to see Apple make this a mainstream thing, and I'd like to get my hands on it myself, but I know it's not going to be cheap. I just know it's going to be pricey. They're going to price that thing up there. It's going to be like 2 iPhones for sure.
For 100%. And if anybody thinks there's going to be a cheap version of this, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming.
The glass.
There is something, though. There is something on the market. I don't know if you guys know this. It's not any way near Apple Wow, but it's kind of a start. Bose sunglasses, where Bose has speakers and you can link your phone to it and play music through sunglasses. So that's kind of like a start, but I would never see Bose ever doing something like that. They're all about audio. All right, next story up, and then we got one more Apple story, and then we're going to make our way over to Samsung. So I don't know if you guys know, but Apple TV Plus and Apple News Plus and all these streaming services have really been starting to make a turn for Apple, most notably Apple News Plus. Of the 3 that have been debuted in terms of Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, and Apple News Plus, Apple News Plus has been the most successful streaming service subscription they have to date. The numbers have gone through the roof. They exceeded expectations, and right now they're on track to bring its biggest update. So according to 9to5Mac, we're going to move away from Mac rumors now, take a break. According to 9to5Mac, Apple News Plus is set for another free month promotion as audio stories are set to launch. So the way this promotion works is if you are a former subscriber of Apple News Plus, you cancel for whatever reason you want. If you were unsatisfied or whatever, you can come back on for another free trial, and you can also get a brand new thing that they're bringing on. So for me, I'm not an Apple News Plus guy. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. All I'm going to say is that if it's making the money, let them make money. They're not going to get a dime off me because I don't read news stories like that. I just look them up on the internet. But I do like that they're trying to give value to their customers in whatever way they can, especially from former customers, because that's a good way to try to get them back. And if you have new things to offer, I like the idea you give them another month for free. But yeah, I'm not too excited for this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Alpha, you go ahead.
For me, I'm probably going to be in the same boat as you. I'm not the news guy. Like I go to the grocery store and you see all those magazines, and then you get those little ads in the mail. I don't know if they still do that. Like they had those little deals with the little mailers that have the little discounted subscription.
Yeah, they still got them.
That's not me. That's not my boat. But I'm pretty sure there is a market for this though. I'm pretty sure evidently they have people who do R&D and people who do marketing to tell and determine, okay, this is something that we can definitely penetrate. But for me personally, I'm not that guy. But I mean, if they do have like a free 1 month trial, I might look at it. Because a lot of the news that I look at is mainly like tech news, gaming news, a little bit of politics. But I don't know. I mean, I'll have to look at it and see if it's something that I can use. I mean, a lot of the information I get is through YouTube in a way. So therefore, I don't find myself like looking at articles as much. So I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a fair shot and take a look at it. I'm open-minded, but normally for me, it's not my thing.
So the service Apple News Plus, it could be good. I think some people who are very active, like news readers, there are some people who are avidly always looking for new platforms. Sometimes it's layout, sometimes it's content, sometimes it's topics, sometimes it's writers, right? It just all kind of depends. My sister is a journalist. She will give this a shot without a doubt. Maybe it's the way that the stories are presented or the app itself is well integrated. There could be a number of reasons people might like it, but like Rakama Tech is saying, they've got to make it so somebody could get their foot in the door and check it out first. Give them that free 30-day trial or even a 14-day trial. You can make a pretty astute conclusion after you've used something for 14 days. Especially a news app, which you're probably going to open up multiple times in a day. Like you'll open it up before you go to work. You'll open it up at your lunch. You'll open it up when you get off of work. You might even open it up again before bed. So give them the trial, get people to give it a shot, make it free. If just make it friendly for people to want to approach it and investigate it, and Apple always does it good. Stuff like this, Apple succeeds. Apple Music did well. It came pretty much out of nowhere.
It's the number one streaming
right. Yeah, it's convenient. It operates without major flaws. The platform is enjoyable. People like the layout. If they take those same principles that they've done with their other items that they've recently brought to market in the last few years, this could do well too. And then fully integrate it. I know they will. You fully integrate it into the iPhone. You fully integrate it into the iPad. You fully integrate it into Mac OS. Like, just put it in front of people. Try me, and then some people will no doubt subscribe and get on board. And, over time it becomes more mainstream and people, people will be on it.
Yeah, I want to add on something real fast. I think that's their main goal is the services, because mostly Apple, when you go into an Apple store, I don't know if you guys have been, it's been a while, but when you go in, they no longer have demos of products on the tablets or the computers. Now they have Apple News Plus, Apple Arcade, Apple Music. Now, I'm going to say this. Even though I'm an Android user, I use Apple Music on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I do use Spotify as my default because Apple didn't give Android the option to make it a default music browser. But if Apple was to allow Android to let it use it as a default, hell yeah, I would switch over from Spotify because I like the interface. It's easier. I have more music in Apple Music because I used it since 2017. And truth be told,
that early adopter, 2017?
I was one of the early adopters when it started. I was on the board. So I've seen it come a long way, and it really is a nice setup for me. and I like Apple Music, but I just don't like that I can't use it as a default and then use 2 music browsers on the same phone. So I ended up just going Spotify, and while Spotify is much better in terms of stylish podcasts, so for example, the Joe Rogan Experience, Mom's Basement, that's a Keemstar's podcast. There are some things I can't get on Apple Music, and then Apple Music, and there's some things I can get that Spotify doesn't, like music videos.
Also, you're saying that they could integrate news podcasts into their news app.
If they were to do, because that's what they're doing, audio news into the Apple News Plus.
So you don't think they should look to keep things separate, podcasts on their podcast platform?
I think they are, but the idea is just for people that want to listen to the story and they don't want to read it, giving them a little bit of a feature, because it's not necessarily a podcast per se.
Right.
A podcast can go
the audio version of the news. Got you. Okay.
Rakama, what do you think? Rakama.
It's all good, fam. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Probably done subbing for me as soon as you're like, okay, I'm getting this kid out of here.
But yeah, as far as like the idea of like, having podcasts on the news app, I'm kind of on the side of Sam when he said keeping them separate. Kind of, I mean, I don't know. I can see it working in one way where you basically have everything in one app. Then that would basically mean you just need to kill like your default podcast app if you're going to do that. So then why would you keep 2 platforms? That's the trap that Google went into with messaging, and they still can't get it right because they want to go in one direction with something else and then combine something and then just kill it entirely. That's why we've had Allo. With that said, they had, when they dropped Google Plus, rest in peace, Google Plus. Google Plus came out with its own messaging app within it too, and they just all over the place. And so Apple just probably, what Apple's usually good with is just kind of sticking to its guns, And I think if they just kind of kept them separate, that would be fine. But I can see them wanting to add value to the News Plus, but I think they could do it with other things.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't know if I need to add on anymore. I think you guys have said it. I think we've all said it. But yeah, last story up, and then we'll get out of Apple because I know a lot of people don't like Apple, and I feel like we've dragged ourselves into the nitty-gritty. But this is the last story up. Let's talk AirPod 3. Now, the AirPod 3 is a budget version of the AirPods without the noise cancelers. I've reported this. This is going to be the cheaper version. This will be taking the place of the current standard AirPods. The only difference this time around is no noise canceller, and it will be about the same price as the original AirPods, $150, maybe $199, or if they decided to go the whole separate if they do the whole wireless charging case separate gimmick. That's a dumb gimmick. I'm sorry. That was a dumb gimmick. But according to Ming Chi Kuo, the AirPods 3 are likely to adopt Apple's AirPod Pro system in package technology. Now, what SIP is it basically enables Apple to pack more components into a smaller space. The SIP technology would basically allow them to give you more of a compact form, just like the AirPod Pros. So how the AirPod Pros gave you an in-ear design without it sticking into your ear canal and feeling nice and light, but also managing to get in the driver, extra battery, also better CPU boards, the H1 chip. That's pretty much where they're at. So I want to ask you, this is the last question, Alpha. AirPods 3, what is your opinion? I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to say because they're going to sell well. If it's going to be cheaper than the AirPod Pros, they're going to sell well. And I'll be real with you. I'm not buying them. I already have AirPod Pros, so I don't need to buy. But yeah, I will. I guess that's where I stand. I think they're just going to sell well.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Like, they're definitely going to sell well just because of price. Like, if Apple drops something of any platform and they offer it cheaper than their previous offering, is going to sell. So, but for me personally, the only downfall to me is, like you said, noise cancellation. And that's the same reason I did not buy the Pixel Buds, just because once I heard they really didn't have any noise cancellation, I was like, they were so close to me. You know, I bet they're still good earbuds. I mean, I know reviewers were they were saying, hey, this is probably Apple's biggest competition at that point for AirPods for that form factor. But for me, if it doesn't have any noise cancellation, I just can't. I can't deal with it. Like for me, I need it for situations like when I'm in the gym and you hear people like clanging their weights, throwing weights down. I know that doesn't exist now because of COVID, but but you know, you need to block out that noise. And then a lot of times, when I cut the grass in my house here, I got earphones on or something, and I don't want to hear that lawnmower like overtaking my music. I want to be able to hear what I'm listening to. So for me, that's not. I wouldn't be the target demographic for that. But I do know that there is a market for number one, getting some earpods that are cheaper, and for that form factor, they're packing a little bit more tech in there. That's actually a good thing. But overall, for me personally, it's a no. But I know it's gonna sell well though. So I'm gonna let Sneed Mobile Tech drop his opinion on that.
Before he goes, whoa.
Big time, Carlos. Thanks, bro.
Thank you, Carlos, for the largest super chat I have ever received. Thank you.
Yeah.
Carlos,
He's a very generous person. Very nice guy, bro.
Thank you, Carlos. That is truly. Sam, the floor is yours. I need to kind of break that in for a second.
Yeah. So, for people that have the premium or the regular version of the AirPods Pro, I think this is something they're going to avoid. They're not in the market for this product. It's missing a feature that they currently have in what they own. It's a less premium version, a less capable version. It doesn't have the noise canceling. This may be a set that is for a different consumer who is maybe a little more entry level. Does this come in at $199?
Probably with the
because I think what are they charging right now? $250 for the AirPods Pro, right?
$250, yeah.
Okay, so if this comes in at a little bit of a more affordable price point, I still think $200 is too much for this product because we have so many options in the wireless earbud, and I mean it's starting to really heat up, bro. You have like Soundcore, and you have like all these other brands that are making good product under $150. Now, Apple branding, Apple product, Apple Sync, all that great stuff, right? If it comes in under $200, I think it's a seller because it'll sell itself because you'll say, oh, I can get a pair of AirPods that are almost like the AirPods Pro for $50 less. People will, without a doubt, buy this. The performance just has to be good. It doesn't have to be great because they'll tell you at the Apple Store, if you are looking for a more premium product with better performance, you're going with the AirPods Pro. So these are not pro grade. You're going to save a little bit of money and get yourself into the Apple hardware for wireless earbuds. They'll sell. I think they'll sell.
I was going to say this. I remember when the first AirPods came out, nobody really was mad at the price point, considering it was kind of the first, not the first, but one of the first truly wireless earbuds on the market where it didn't have a stem. It was just two. I remember, something, now that I think about it, the AirPods, I don't remember a pair of earbuds that were wireless up until that point where it was just the AirPods, because that came out 2017, 2016, early. Like that was a time when not a lot of products were adopting the wireless technology, and Apple doing that was a big move, and it sold well. It started out. I was one of the few people. As a matter of fact, I have the original AirPod box with the date of 2017. The AirPods themselves, unfortunately, are buried with my friend. My friend Andrew, I don't know if you guys know this, but he passed away. And
sorry, man.
It's okay. And AirPods I gave him, he used those 24/7. I gave it to him, and they're with him now in his resting place. So I hope Andrew, rest in peace, Andrew. But I'm glad he used them for the backs, and I was glad I was able to make an impact on him because he couldn't afford the wireless earbuds at the time, and I just gave it to him for free, and I bought another pair. So I hope he used them well. But I think $159, $149 without the wireless charging case will probably be their best bet. With the wireless charging case, you could go to $199, but I still think that's a gimmick. I think they should just make it one because you don't need two other versions of the same headphones. Alpha, what do you think? And then we're going to move right on over to Samsung.
I was just about to say, you mind if I pull up something on my screen real quick?
Absolutely, go right ahead, and I'll definitely pull it up for you.
And let's see. I wonder if I could pull up the Chrome tab.
Yeah, use the share screen, and you go up into the Chrome tab. No worries, guys. We're gonna see what he's got. Make sure you hit. Oh no.
So, all right. So these are the current prices for Apple. Do y'all see this?
Let me get a full screen.
Oh, I can just go ahead and do full screen on this. All right. Does that show up on the screen?
Yeah,
right.
you up. Yeah.
So basically, you already have 3 tiers for the Apple AirPods that already are in circulation right now. So you've got the Pros, which are 240, 250, and then you can break it down into the 2 variants of the regular AirPods. So you've got the one with the wireless charging case and one without the wireless charge. So if you just want the base package, that's already $159. So for those budget ones to sell, they probably need to aim a little bit lower than $159. They probably need to shoot at like $129. And I think that'll be like the sweet spot to get people on board.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, Alpha. I don't know if Apple would do that because I've seen the manufacturing costs for one AirPod, and they're very expensive. So I don't think 129 would justify. I mean, it's a good price point for us consumers, but for Apple, they wouldn't make money. I mean, it's a good idea for us because we would pay less, but for them, they're gonna lose on a return. So I think for me, I think 159 is just right. I think it's right there. It's not too high. It's not too low. It's just right at the sweet spot for me, anyway.
Could be, but you already have. I mean, unless you're offering more for that, but it's considered the budget one, meaning they're cutting stuff out. So if they offer the budget one at the same price that I can get the base model, I'll probably just jump on the base model at 159.
Yeah, I suppose I believe that. All right, we're out of Apple territory, boys. We're out. The ship has cleared. The clouds are moving away. We are starting to break the dawn. Now let's move over to Samsung. So we're going to talk for a second headphones, something that I heavily love to do. And Sam, I want to add on what you said about companies, making their own headphones. Soundcore and Samsung. I like the competition, but sometimes I feel like if you're a phone lover, like if you love a brand, it's better to just stick with your brand's headphone. For example, Apple's AirPods. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac, just go with AirPods because of the experience. They just work easier. You have the not the WWE. You have the H1 chip. It's seamless transitions. It automatically connects. It's made for Apple. That's why when I use them to edit my videos, I use it only on my iPad and my Mac. Sometimes I use them on my phone, but they were more for that. But I'm a Samsung user, and I went Galaxy Bud Pluses. They have AKG headphones that are nice, but I am not going that route because I found out they're not what I thought they were, and that's why I refuse to review them. I will not recommend people spend $200 hard-earned dollars on a headphone that has terrible battery life and can't even play music in an individual earbud for $200. I'm not reviewing it. But I always recommend what your manufacturer makes, go with it for the experience. So for Google phones, you have the Google Pixel Buds. For the Samsung, you have the Galaxy Bud Pluses. And now we'll get to the story that we're going to talk. Apple AirPods, OnePlus Bullets. So that's where I usually go. But if there are people that want to try other things, that's where I go out and branch off and look at other things. Now that I've got that out of the way, let's talk the new Samsung Galaxy Bud Lives. So as you know, I've been covering extensively this headphone. So this is a concept design that was based off of some renders by EasyLeaks. And basically, apparently, from what I'm being told, this thing is actually going to be released in August. Now, I was on record saying that I really don't want this to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But I may end up eating my own words. Because apparently, according to 9 to 5 Google, this is the actual render of a mock-up that was seen. This is the charging case. This is the earbud. Now, the earbud themselves are going in the design that I talked about. I'm trying to zoom in here. And it's going to be a beam-form shape. The way this works is it works flushed within your ears. It will be kind of like how beans are. I don't know if you guys, you know what beans are. And You will be able to put them in your ear, one size fit all, similar to the original Earpods, except they fit in with the ear canal. So it basically will be nice and flushed, and it will be nicely tucked in, so nothing's being jammed in. It will have noise canceller, and is rumored to be priced at the same price of Galaxy Bud Pluses. So that's nice for people that waited, but it sucks for people like me that bought the Galaxy Bud Pluses. I'm just kidding. I enjoy the Galaxy Bud Plus. So I want to ask the question, and I'm going to start with Sam, and then Alpha, you'll go next. Sam, with this headphone coming out, is this a mistake on Samsung's part? Because they released the Galaxy Bud Pluses less than 6 months ago. They're still relatively new. They still are relatively cheap. And my question to you is, if they release this headphone, will this, in your opinion, be enough to switch current Galaxy Bud Plus users? And I can see you're laughing already.
Caleb was commenting they kind of look like kidney beans, and they do.
They do.
They do kind of look like kidney beans.
They kind of look like, they remind me of? They remind me of Raycon earbuds. Those.
Have you ever been to Chicago? Have you ever gone to the large metal bean that's in the middle of the city?
No, I was too young back then.
Yeah, they got a giant bean right there in the middle. It looks like the mitochondria of a cell, bro.
Oh my God.
There goes the biology teacher coming at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like they have that look. Now, design-wise, they're kind of innovative, right? They've got a little form following function kind of deal going on, which is cool. But are they turning away from their current product? Are they trying to pivot? I don't know. Do they just want to offer something different and then market it at more premium price? Does it do extra? Does it have certain things about it? I don't know everything that goes into these. What I do see companies do, and it hurts them, is they diversify their portfolios in certain product lines, and it ends up costing them because they lack focus, right? So what Apple will always do well is they have AirPods. Then they develop the Pro version, and all they do is give it an extra feature or two and make it more expensive, right? They don't really do more than 3 of something, even with their phones. They have the El Cheapo one, they have the regular one, and then they have the premium one. And the premium one gets a larger size. It's for people that wants a max size or whatever. But you follow the leader when it comes to that. What they're selling is smart. They kind of know how to do this. I don't think Samsung's. I think they're throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, and what doesn't stick, they'll kind of phase out. I don't know how invested they are in this development, but I could see them dropping these within the next year, right? We could see it February with, like the Samsung Galaxy S line. Are they saying that this could be coming out this announcement in August?
Yes, they are rumored.
Oh.
There's a rumor saying that they are releasing these at the August event, and I'll explain after you, Alpha, why I disagree with that and why I don't like that idea.
I don't like the idea either. I think they're going to create a little bit of confusion to their consumers, but yeah, you guys can have at it. Go ahead.
All right, Alpha, go ahead.
How I look at it is, I think they're at least 2 generations in with the Galaxy Buds, and so then now you drop this other product line, or if it's the next iteration, it's given. It is just like Sneed Mobile Tech just said, like you're giving people like too many options to the point where you're going to divide your customer base. So I don't know, like, and then number 2, the design itself, like like the comments have been saying, like kidney beans, like it does look weird, but I kind of want to lima beans. I do want to see actually how it actually looks. Like that's something you probably want to actually see in person and see how it actually looks in your ears. Like for example, like the AirPods, I guess, and don't hold me in contempt. That's the reason why I haven't bought any AirPods yet, is because I just don't like the stem hanging out of the ear. But one day I'll be brave enough and I'll try it, but I just know I'm going to look like an Apple douchebag when I do it. Like, but the kidney bean form factor, at least it's smaller. I just don't know how far it's going to hang out your ear. I guess it's going to fit like in that little crevice of your ear. So maybe it might work. I just have to actually see how it looks though. But it's really, I guess they're basically their really big selling point on this is just, it's the design, because I'm going to assume that they're wireless charging and everything else that the Galaxy Buds have. but I guess we'll just have to see if this is even true. Like Michael just said, like we don't know if they're gonna drop that, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I don't really want this to be released is because the truth is, it just doesn't make sense. And you released headphones 6 months ago. You're almost halfway through its cycle. You should wait at least the other 6 and then release it. Because what's going to happen when you get to February or January when you have your event? Well, what's going to happen? You're going to have to release 2 headphones? You're going to refresh 1? Like, what's the deal? So for me, it creates confusion. But you know what? A lot of people are passionate about this, and a lot of people believe this is the case. So all I got to say is, well, have at it, man. That's it. That's all I can say on that.
So essentially, it's almost like they're doing like what OnePlus is doing. Like, they'll drop 2 phones a year. And maybe I think the OnePlus loyalists are there every time the phone launches. But other than that, the average consumer is not buying every OnePlus device, and they're dropping 2 phones a year. So I guess I kind of understand what OnePlus tries to do. I don't know, that's not the subject here, but that's what Samsung is in that's what their inner workings are doing right here. They're trying to divide their customers, and that product line is it's not the best route to go. So like you said, what's going to happen next? So
yeah. Anyway, quickly, the next story is something I want to talk about because I actually just got notified on my phone. A lot of people are starting to roast me, and it's not good roast. So I don't know if you guys remember, a long time ago, I made a video about the Google Pixel 4a and a possible 5G variant. Well, something happened. Something really happened, and I am probably going to get a lot of dislikes because that video was made a long time ago. You're on mute.
Let me tell you why it's not fair to roast you for this. Before they even start, I'm going to tell you why. This phone should have been out in May. The only reason there may be a 5G variant is because it's about to get released 6 months after its original launch date. Otherwise, it was not ready for 5G, and we knew that.
Yeah.
Before people go start, told you it's going to be 5G. That's enough of that. If that phone was released in May when it was scheduled, it would not have come with 5G. No way. Yeah, that's what they sound like. It's like it's like Peanuts, bro. It's like Snoopy. You know the parents. Wah, 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 wah. Well, here's how they sound. Trolls on Twitter. This is what they sound like. I told you so. That's what they sound like, bro.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then listen. I'm gonna address it because I'm getting comments right now as we speak on a video that I made. If I could pull up the date when I posted this, the Google Pixel 4a, when I titled 5G, nope, not happening. Who remembers that video? Comment in the live stream. That video did pretty well. I actually got a lot of positive responses, but no big dislikes. But people are commenting now saying, change your title. I guess things changed quickly, and I will take care of them after. I'll explain.
How they change quickly? That was like 4 months ago when these rumors were going on.
4 months ago.
How did they change quickly?
Like, I don't know.
4 months in mobile technology is like an eon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what these people are like. Listen, that's just people. They probably watched it. They probably didn't know the release date when this video came out. So I'll clear them up. I'll take care of them. But apparently, there is a report saying that Google is indeed going to add 5G to both the Pixel 4a and Pixel 5. Now, at first, I was skeptical. I was reading this article, and I said, there's no way this could really be true. But then, according to this, now you're probably saying to yourself, what in God's name is this?
It's code.
It's code. It's software codes. And these codings also tell them the code names of products coming out and what's happening. And you can see here, there it is. There's going to be a Pixel 4a, a Pixel 4a 5G. That's the one we're going to talk. And the Pixel 5. Now, what does this mean? Does that mean the Pixel 4a 5G is going to have a 765? What is going to happen? Well, listen, I'm going to say this right now. There was one part in this article that clearly was written by an Apple sheep, and I gotta do this. We gotta do this. This author, Kyle Bradshaw, you want to talk about a tech company and you're writing for 9 to 5 Google when it's linked to Mac? So you know what, Kyle? You know what happens when you write bad articles? You know what happens when you decide to go full Nemo? You know what happens when you write crappy articles again? Casual alert!
Hey, it's Cloud Shoes.
Cloud shoes! Don't ever write articles for 9 to 5 Google and claim you also work for 9 to 5 Mac.
Yeah, well.
All right, let's go back to it. Now that we took care of that, y'all got your casual alert. I forgot the siren, but my voice is still as powerful. So basically, the reason why Google is probably going to do this, I'm going to start this real quick. I'm going to go fast, so I want you guys to take your time with this story. But basically, the reason why Google is considering this, and those leaks that we saw, that is probably the 4A 5G. That's not the Pixel 5. That's got to be the 4A XL 5G. Maybe that's what they're calling it. Maybe that's why, because it's been 4 months. This phone has taken a long time. This phone should have been released 4 months ago. It should have been released, hell, last month. Now the phone is being pushed back to now August. We're getting closer and closer to Google announcing the Pixel 5. What is the point of this phone being 4A? Just because you could say, oh, well, we have a variant? No, you're releasing it because you want to. If it was me, if I'm being honest, they should just call this the 5A. This shouldn't be the 4A anymore. It doesn't make any sense to release this phone alongside the Pixel 5, because then people are going to say, what is going on here? Also, shout out official Keith in Texas. Thank you for coming on. I don't understand why Google took so long. I understand if there's pushbacks in terms of the virus. So I want to ask the question to the both of you. And Alpha, you go first. By taking the time, was this a way for them to not only get the 5G variant, but also maybe increase? Because there is a notification that there is the 4A 5G. Could it just be a 5G version of the phone? Could it be the large version, the renders we were seeing, and then the Pixel 5? What do you make of this, and what should they do with the 4A at this point?
Well, before I get started, I do remember your video that you're catching heat on, because I remember the very first words in the video you said was, hell no, they're not dropping a 5G model. And
Yeah.
then here we are now. We're looking at, sometimes we YouTubers got to eat our words, but I think, I don't know, it's a combination of different factors that could have pushed that phone back so far that Google just decided, okay, at some point, well, let's just go ahead and drop 5G in this phone, and we'll just go ahead and remake it. Because I think if we look at, I don't want to jump into, future topics, but I know with PlayStation, PS5, they were so reluctant to reveal the console, and I think they changed some things along the way, but they didn't say. But I think in this circumstance, they waited so long that they had time to take advantage of, to go ahead and basically put some other elements into the phone that they didn't have time to do because they just pushed it back. So do I think that they were planning to do it beforehand, like before the whole pandemic? No, I think it was just I think they were gonna drop the 5G. So then they all of a sudden realized they had time to do it. So they're like, okay, let's go ahead and drop it anyway. So, but yeah, I agree with you. At this point, they probably should just skip the 4A and then just have like two Pixel 5 variants.
See already, Sam, I think we found our degenerate of the week. See? You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
We got our degenerate of the week. Don't worry, I'll take care of them after. But listen, people like that watch it because I'm going to call. You know what? I'm going to text them right now. I'm live right now. I'm going to tell them right now. I'm live right now covering the. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. I'm going to mute myself.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I think they just took advantage of the time. I don't think they were initially planning on doing that from the get-go. They just took advantage of the time that they had, and they just decided to make themselves a little bit more productive and include a 5G variant. So, but I'll go ahead and mute myself. I'll let Sneed Mobile take over.
I think he went on mute too. I'll take the cover. I'll take the chance. But nah, when I see comments like that, I got to respond. But listen, it's okay. I understand where this is coming from. He goes, common sense got oofed. No, you missed the point. I really do hope he joins. I told him I'm live right now. I told him, I said, if you want to come on, I will explain. Because first of all, I made that video 4 months ago. That was what was happening then. It took Google 4 months later to decide to want to put 5G in the phone. So that's not an error on my end. I was just covering the story of what happened 4 months ago. And I don't care, you know. It's just that when the things start to circulate, when news stuff start picking up, and I mean, hey, if that's what it is, it is. But all I could say is that maybe I'm not wrong, because when the article came out, that's what was indicated. They weren't going 5G. 4 months later, we got to this point, and now they're going to put it in because they had 4 months to figure out we could do this. So for me, it's not that I'm wrong. It's just it was in the moment. So I don't know. Hey, it doesn't bother me. Hey, listen. If they think things change quickly, things didn't change quickly. The truth is that it took them 4 months to do it. And I'm cool with it. You know, I think a mid-range getting 5G is a very good value proposition. It may raise the price a little bit, but I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. And the way that I look at it is, if the 4A and the Pixel 5 both have 5G, it would make sense, because you have your flagship that has 5G, your mid-range that has 5G, so you have 5G in there. And I think that most people, from what I understand, from what I'm telling, is that by having the mid-range do it first, you add a little bit of a cheaper option, a little bit extra kind of a device that helps cut costs down, but also get them into the ecosystem. So I think for me, I'm cool. I'm cool with them doing this 5G. And honestly, hey, it is what it is. And that's all I can say. I think Sneed stepped out for a second. So any last minute thoughts? Because we didn't talk about the Pixel 5. Oh, okay, there you are. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I'm kind of digging the phone. You know, I like the concept of making sure we get 2 XL variants, not just the regular ones, from both the 4A and the 5. I like the concept of having a 5G variant for the budget one, maybe come in at like $549 or something like that, or $499. You know, I like it. It's good. They're bringing out. I mean, they had the extra time. They can prepare these things, get them through all the testing, get it through production. Go ahead, do it. I'm with it. Just make sure that they're not bus. Make sure they're not lame-o phones. Make sure that they compete with the likes of Apple and Samsung, because Samsung's got $599 5G mid-range phones, and Apple's got a $400 LTE phone. You know, they're all model year, so they got to bring the heat. And if you know their smartphone sales are already not good, the best-selling phone has yet to get its successor, so they have to come through with this. It's got to be good.
Yeah, I agree. Now, in terms of the people that come on and start commenting and stuff, like, you know, on that video, I'll just say it. I made this video a couple months ago. Things change. Plans change. Yeah. How is that my fault? That's not me. How is that my fault? I'm not telling them to change plans. It's not like Google watches me.
Yeah,
right. On the time, they're like, you know what, we can pull it off.
Yeah.
So, hey, I will take care of those people. I ain't worried about them. I think we got
who got elbows and knees for those comments. Yeah.
Elbows and knees. Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. Next up, let's get to PlayStation 5. So, Alpha, I think, is it safe for me to say that you're a little bit more of a gamer than Sam? Sam, is that kind of a fair statement?
I mean, I have a gaming console. That's really all the gaming I do. I do some stuff on the Xbox. That's pretty much it.
Okay, that's fine. What about you, Alpha?
Man, I was a gamer before I was a tech guy. Gaming got me into tech. I've been gaming since the NES when I was 5 in 1988.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so therefore, yeah, I've got a lot
I
of
was playing Duck Hunt Alpha. What were you playing, bro?
Thank you for the super chat, Chuck.
Say what was I
I, w-
playing?
I was playing Duck Hunt. What were you playing?
Man, it's Double Dragon, Duck Hunt, Ninja Turtles, Mega
Yeah,
Man, you name it.
Mega
Like,
Man.
you name it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
actually still a collector. Like you probably can't tell, but back there's like that black box. I've got some NES games still in there. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm a big fan of like those classic games.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm no pro gamer, but I will say this. I've been a diehard PlayStation fan since the PlayStation 1. I bought every PlayStation that's come out. I had an Xbox One. I didn't play it as often, but I had it. And for me, I love PlayStation. That's a passion. I love that kind of style. I really do. And for me, I really enjoy playing video games. It's a passion. It's just something I love. And it kind of gives me an opportunity to escape the real world for about an hour or so when I'm playing Spider-Man or NBA or 2K20 WWE or whatever the game is. I love to play that. Well, it looks like the new consoles are going to do something that hasn't been done in almost a decade. It looks like the price of brand new games is going to go up. So, according to Polygon, what kind of naming article site is that? According to Polygon, the price hike is set or claiming to be set. Now, the reason why they are claiming this is because of NBA 2K21, one of the first launch titles that are announced to come out with the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, I want to clarify, this also does go for Xbox as well. But focusing on the PlayStation aspect, the cost of NBA 2K21 will be $69.99, a $10 increase, rounding it up to $70. It will also cost $110 for the Mamba Forever Edition, for those of you that want to buy it in memory of Kobe. And they are saying that this could be the start of the next-gen price hike. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I only buy games on average maybe 3 or 4 times in a year. So I do spend a bit, but I don't spend that much. But I think increasing it by $70 is a tad too much, and I'll explain why. See, if they had made it $65, I could say, okay, I could get behind that. But $70 for me, $70 it doesn't do anything. That's the standard game. If it was a special edition and was $70, then I would be all right with that. But the fact that they're increasing the price, now this is 2K. 2K milks you for everything. But if this is the trend that they're going to start and all the companies are going to do, that's disappointing. Now, of course, this could change as titles come around. But in your opinion, do you think that this could be the big, next gen price hike, or could this possibly just be 2K trying to get more money?
Okay, I guess it's on me. So
yeah, you. I'm sorry. Sam is going to step out for a second. He'll be back though.
So for me, I do think it is going to be the next price hike because sports, unless, and even that Mamba edition variation, that one is going to be, I believe, more than $70. That one is going to, because
rest in peace, Colin.
That one, that's the version that you have to buy on Xbox for you to be able to get the upgraded visuals for next gen. Because you can buy that Mamba edition on the current gen console, and then as long as you have that, then you'll be upgraded to be able to play the next gen graphics and whatnot on the new gen system. So that's supposed to be even higher than, like I said, in 70. I forgot what they said the price was on that, but but I think them offering the standard at $70, honestly, it doesn't surprise me, because a few years ago when Trump got in office, and I'm not trying to go into politics, but they did raise the import taxes, and they were saying for the longest that games were going to have a raise in price. So I'm surprised that we didn't see that with the current gen yet. So it just makes sense that they're just going to go ahead and start with the next gen. So it's unfortunate, but I think it was going to be necessary. So it kind of is what it is. But for me personally, there's very few games that I will spend full price on anyway. I typically do most of my game shopping Black Friday, and I'll get like 3 games for like, the price of one in a lot of cases. So they can charge whatever they want to. I'm a smarter shopper than that. I just wait for sales.
Yeah, sorry, I'm typing real fast. I apologize. I'm just basically just writing something here to a friend. No, yeah, I am surprised that we kind of didn't see a price hike sooner. I'm not mad, but like it does kind of suck because I gotta spend $10 more. But I usually buy them digital, so I just put them on a credit card and I'll just pay it off. But that's kind of crazy though, $70 for a game, and it only lasts you a year, especially from 2K. If you don't know anything about NBA, guys, they shut the servers off every 2 years. So you're going to be forced to buy the game every year. And they don't even support it after the first year. So I don't know. I hate that. I really do.
Yeah, it does suck, but gaming has just become more of a oh crap, and it's raining right now, and I left my lawnmower outside.
Yeah, same. I hear that too.
So, man, this rain came out of nowhere. But I know that's besides the point. But yeah, as far as the price hike and things like that, it sucks, but it's I guess it's absolutely necessary. But I'm also play the devil's advocate from the stuff that I've seen that was between both consoles, both Xbox and PS5. They don't really seem to show true what we call next gen just yet. And I know they did offer like the 4K 60 live stream like a day later, so you can kind of see a little bit better visuals. But I don't know if I'm seeing games worthy of a price hike right now. Not just yet. I mean, there are some games that do look very good, don't get me wrong, but it's still like we still got to kind of give it like 2 years for the developers to understand the equipment, the hardware, so that they can actually develop games that you'll get more fullness out of it. But for right now, we're still early. So, and I think another reason for that price hike too, in addition to the taxes and all of that, I think that's going to be the reason why they're going to maybe drop the prices on the consoles, because PS5, they've been saying, rumors have been saying PS5 might drop at like maybe like $400 or so, like 400, maybe like a 400 and a 500 for the digital and then the optical. So it's possible that if they drop the price on the console, they're going to make that money on the back end with the games. And they've been doing that for years. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I just realized. Yeah, no, I'm just finishing up this. Now I'm just responding to those guys. I honestly, I love responding because sometimes people don't read. But yeah, so I'm okay with the whole price thing, but I hate it for me, and that's really all I can say on that. I really can't say anything else. And hey, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that's that. Anyway, we are almost done. We have 4 more stories. I don't know where the SMT is. I hope he comes back because I have a story for him that I'd like to ask him to come on. But also, we'll just check the live chat. In the meantime, we're gonna see what everybody's talking about. They're talking about RAF and talking about what? RAF, the PS5 looks better than the Xbox Series X. Sorry. I just think that there has to be more going into these games, and with the new gen, it would be even more so. Absolutely, they got to create a lot more, keeping you on the edge of your platform. Questions remain: is it worth renting these games first before playing the retail? That comes down to if people still even like to do those renting things. I never was into that.
So I guess that might be where me and you differ. Like my generation, when we're gaming back in the 80s and the 90s, like renting was everything, because I don't know what it was, but I think there's a difference in this generation where people buy more. Back then, it was like, I guess games were kind of an extra thing. They weren't the norm. So it was kind of looked at like it was a luxury or an extra thing. So therefore, people didn't really buy as many games. They were more that rental industry was huge, just because people could just go, pay $5, $7, maybe $8 and go rent a game for a weekend and then go try it out and be like, if it sucks, I'm not paying 40 or $50 at the time for like Nintendo games. I'm not gonna spend 40 or $50 to get it. And also the used market wasn't as huge back then, just because they were, you know what I'm saying? It was still kind of new at the time. So
Yeah.
now, nowadays you got GameStop, you can just walk in there and go buy a used game for less. But we didn't have that many options, so renting had its.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Time out. SP Ronovan. I also would like to apologize for the comment I just submitted. I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I just wanted to clarify to you that that video was made 2 months ago. This is the man who commented, guys. I just want to clarify that that video was made 2 months ago. I want to clarify it. It was not trying to be rude. I'm sorry if it came out that way. The video that I made that you reacted to, that was a 2 month ago video. I did cover it today, and I was wrong. I mean, that was the news back then, so I had to cover it, and I was planning on following up. So I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you were able to come in. I understand where you're coming from. Now that I see that you meant no disrespect. It's okay. It's all good. I apologize for what I said, and I will remove the comment that I wrote to you. I took it. I said some things, so I apologize. I just hope I was able to clarify it to you. So go ahead, Alpha. I just wanted to clarify it because I know I told him to come on, and as he was coming on, I accidentally wrote a comment, and I didn't think he was going to come, so I apologize on that.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, that's the reason why we're here, so we can clear up any misunderstandings, So no better place to do it than live, right? So, but yeah, as I was just saying, it's just that renting had its purpose back then, just because games were expensive and people didn't see the quality of, or they didn't see the quality or purpose of buying games. They just wanted to go ahead and rent. And I had made a comment like $7 was kind of realistic for Blockbuster at the time. Like you just go rent a game, and in some cases you could rent a whole console. Like you have to put down a deposit, but after you put down a deposit, then they had a rate that you would rent it for, I think, a week or a weekend, and you can take the console back. Like a new console would come out, like let's say in this situation, PS5. You would be able to walk into a Blockbuster, give them a deposit, and then also pay the rental fee for using it. And you can rent a console, whatever games you want, take it back. So therefore, you can kind of get away without having to risk all the the upfront investment just to be able to invest into a console. So yeah, people did that back then, and that was big. And then eventually, renting kind of phased out as people started buying more because it became
Mm-hmm.
normal.
No, yeah, absolutely. I completely understand. I remember back there was a thing, GameFly. It's still around, surprisingly. They allow you to rent out the games for as long as you want, and then when you feel you're ready to confirm, if you want to buy the game, they'll give you a discount for because you paid a rental, so they'll take that off and then you pay the remainder. Me, I don't use GameFly, so I never thought of using it. Me, I just buy my games. I'm gonna end it there because we gotta move a little bit more, so we gotta keep going. I'm gonna message the SMT, see if everything is okay. I just want to check up on him, but I'm gonna let you have the floor with the next story. So I don't know if you've been covering the OnePlus Nord, but it's been on the rumor mill for now. We saw an image of the phone, and I'm gonna show you a mock-up of a press image by EVLeaks. This claims to be an actual press image. And I want you to tell me, in your opinion, what do you think of it? How does it look? And what are your thoughts? Excuse me. Here is the phone. I'm going to call up the SMT, see how he's doing. The floor is yours.
Okay. It looks very Samsung-like, but I think they have been kind of taking some cues from Samsung for a little while now. And like when you look at the OnePlus 8, like it's the OnePlus 8 Pro. I mean, it's it got the whole glass back and everything, and this doesn't depart from that design language. I'm not really opposed to it either, because I mean it looks good. For the most part, like I said, it's very, very, like I said, very Samsung. Like when you look at the little camera module, and as far as the screen itself, I don't see. At least from what I can see, there's no notch, but they have a little cutout. So it's got that whole modern design language that doesn't really separate it from that many phones. But yeah, I mean, I believe it looks like that's real. I mean, it looks believable. And once again, you got Evan Blass putting out stuff out there. More likely, it's true. So, I mean, that's kind of my takeaway from it. Is just that I mean, it looks like most phones in 2020. So it's not much I could really take away from it. And that button there on the left, though, I'm guessing that is, yeah, I guess that's the volume rocker actually, because it looks like you've got, yeah, you've got that whole on the other side, you've got the usual switch for the little vibration mode or whatever, and then you got the power. So yeah, the other side is just the volume rocker. So, but yeah, I mean, it's typical. It's got the typical OnePlus form factor with their Samsung Touch. But overall, I like it. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah. It's got the Samsung form factor with the two punch holes. The only difference is on the other side of the screen. I like the way it looks. Now, this is supposedly a real press image. So if you take a look at it, you can see there's a little bit of a chin at the bottom. Not too much bezels. It looks like it's got a nice aluminum silver band, and it looks all right. I think the only issue that I have with this phone is that it's not being released in America. So I don't know if you know this, but the phone is not going to be released in America. It is going to be released in parts of Europe first, and then maybe it'll make its way to America. But from what I'm hearing, this phone will not be in America. I think that's a bad choice on OnePlus, but I think I know why they're not releasing it in America, because the OnePlus 8 sales have not been too kind. So if you take a look at the OnePlus 8 sales from Verizon, T-Mobile, they're not good. It's not good at all. It's really, really hard, and they're not good at all, truth be told. I'm being completely honest. The sale numbers are insufficient. So as a result, they probably don't want to spend more money on bringing a phone over that probably won't do as well. And I guess my opinion or question again to you, and also I just got a response back from the SMT. Guys, the SMT has to go. So that was it for him. So it'll just be me and Alpha. So it's just me and you. We run the show, all right?
Cool.
All right. So my question is this a missed opportunity for OnePlus, or do you think they will release this phone in America at some point?
I don't know. Like OnePlus, even though they are still a growing company and they've succeeded in many different ways that I didn't expect them to, I think they still have some limitations. So when they release something, they just have to put it in a. I'm gonna guess they're gonna do it in a certain market for that reason, just because they don't have like the Samsung money to flex and just throw it everywhere. Samsung's got enough money to the point where, as you already know, they've got two different variants as far as the chipsets that they use. They've got the Exynos, and then you've got the Qualcomm. So the Samsung can do that. So OnePlus, they're not there yet. So they are better off trying to experiment and saying, okay, with this generation, we're going to drop the OnePlus Nord for this group and this demographic, and we're just going to see how it goes. And then maybe next year we'll they may have a sequel to that phone and be able to drop it in another territory just to experiment with that. Because I think, like you said, like T-Mobile, their sales have been pretty bad with OnePlus since I want to say after the 6T, because I got the 6T through T-Mobile when it dropped, because I wanted, even though I was already aware that their software updates were probably going to be a little bit behind the unlocked variant, but I just wanted to just support OnePlus and go into T-Mobile and pick up one of their phones, because I would like to see them continue to put phones out on carriers. But then it's like after they dropped, I think OnePlus 7. I think that's when they had kind of like dwindled a little bit after that. But yeah, so just for that very reason, they are just trying to see if they can test the waters in their market. So I don't anticipate them bringing that to the US. I think they're just going to leave it in that one region, and then we'll see what happens afterwards.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think OnePlus, it's understandable, and considering the whole how would I say this, the whole struggle they had to appeal so many people to the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro, it was pretty rough. And I do like the 8 Pro, but I think that phone is limited to Verizon. I think because I only see the OnePlus 8 available for T-Mobile. So they tried to do exclusivity and things like that, and it just didn't work out. And also, Tito, you think I didn't know the struggles of VHS tapes? I remember I used to have VHS tapes. I pull the thing out, and the string just come out of the tape, and then you got to use the little back things to turn them in. Sometimes you'd be lucky if the tape doesn't get scratched or broke. Eesh. So I knew those struggles. I was around just before DVDs got popular. All right, we're almost done, guys. We got 3 more stories. If you've made it this far, comment down in the live chat, hashtag let's get it. Let's get it. So 3 more stories. We're going to finish up here, and then I have a last thing to do, and then we'll finish up. What do you know about the Nest smart speaker, Alpha?
I did see that leak of it this week. It's like ever since they bought out Nest, they're rebranding their stuff. I did see the leak of that smart speaker that had. If you want to pull up that article and refresh me on that too,
Well, I'm going to do it.
I meant to actually look through that article when I saw it, but I don't know if they're adding like any other features to it other than changing up the design. But yeah, I've got a couple Google Home before they called it Nest. I've got a couple Google Home speakers here, and I use it daily. You know, I listen to music and whatnot. So if they can improve on the sound quality, I will say this though. Like I've got the Google Home Hub. That was terrible. They renamed that thing, and it was at one point they had called it the Google Nest Home Hub at one point, and now it's just like the Nest Hub, I believe. So I'm gonna say having that one, that they could have did better with the speakers. I don't even really like listening to music on that one.
Oh, yeah. Remember the review I did of the JBL Link Music?
Say what?
You remember the review I did of the JBL Link Music?
Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, I was not a fan of the Google Home products because I don't like the sound quality, and the JBLs did it for me. Well, I don't regret buying it, but I'm probably not going to buy another one. But this is the actual image of the Nest smart speaker. So this is going to replace not only the Google Home, but this will probably be the next full image. Now, 9 to 5 Google purposely made this video because it looks like they're going to be the ones promoting it. From what I was able to gather, as you can see, they're the ones that are doing this for an ad. But like, man, can y'all just like stop leaking this crap? Like, why can't we never have like one good thing? Like one good thing. Can we not have one good thing in this?
It's 2020. Everything leaks.
It's bad enough Jimmy's promo released the Note 20. We got Viper over there making content that looks like a kindergartner could have done it better. And then you've got other things, man. I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just, joking around. But in all seriousness, like 2020 sucks. Like, can we keep things under the radar?
I guess since everybody has nothing else to do but be at home, so that's just an avenue for content creators to like find work to do. Let me put it that way. So, but yeah, I mean, for me, like out of the Google Home devices I do have, because like I said, I've got the Nest Hub, I've got the Nest Mini, and then I've got the OG Google Home Hub, like the OG Google Home itself, the first one that they dropped. But the Nest Hub seems like the weakest of the 3 for whatever reason. Why would you make a Google Home product that has a display and you can literally watch music videos on that device, but the audio quality is lacking severely with that? Like, I don't have much. I mean, I will say the audio quality is not the greatest on the other 2 speakers that I have, but it's certainly much better than the Nest Hub. Every time I listen to that, I'm like, number one, it's not loud enough, and then number 2, that the depth of sound, it's severely lacking. So if they had like some kind of built-in equalizer, maybe I haven't tapped into that, but I doubt it because it's a simple device. But yeah, that Nest Hub is not where it's at. So hopefully, they improved on the sound quality with this new one. But from what I understand, the Google Home Max, which was just like this big, massive speaker, I heard the audio quality was great with that, but
Yeah.
the price on that thing was up there. So that's what kind of deterred me from buying it. But if this kind of meets that, I may use this thing to replace one of my Google Homes, just depending on the price.
Of course, yeah. And I'm going to say this, then we're going to move right on to then our next story. This speaker is, of course, going to be in the Nest Smart ecosystem, so everything will work together. But it looks like they're also going to incorporate the Google Home app and make that the Nest app and kind of like a link. I don't know how they're going to approach this. There is an event that's coming up. There is going to be an event that they're going to talk about the Nest speaker, and they're going to talk about everything you need to know. So I will be covering the event. I will definitely be discussing it. So far, even though with this leak, there really hasn't been much talk about the event. So that's pretty good. So let's hope, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I'm going to, the next story, and then we got one more and we're out of here. The A71 5G. Now, this one is from Phone Arena, a guy that I already put on Casual Alert. But it looked like he redeemed himself because he actually wrote a truthful article. Look at that. He must have saw my segment. Good job, Adrian. Good job. Called him out twice. Looks like he finally caught on. So according to this, Verizon has made the A71 5G a very reasonable ultra-wide 5G phone. It will be compatible with Verizon's 5G. And it looks like the phone is going to be very affordable at Verizon. So according to the pricing on the US store, it will be $650 for Verizon exclusive, and the other variant will be $479 depending on your trade-in. The regular price is $599, so you're paying $50 more with Verizon. But just today, I don't know if you saw my latest episode of Technoid Alpha. I covered the A71 5G about how the reports were saying that the camera were flagship performers. They have flagship quality and that they are comparable. So I want to ask you, and I'll let you take the floor because I won't say anything because I already covered this today.
Okay.
What is your stance on mid-ranges like this? And the A71 5G, do you see that being a very good option for consumers? What is your take on the 5G A71 mid-range?
Well, this year alone, I mean, I've heard a lot of chatter about the A series phones. Like a lot of YouTubers were talking about the A series phones like they were almost like a flagship in a way. They were like so satisfied with it that they were like almost kind of it almost took them away from their flagship. Like I wouldn't say their Note because the Notes have a certain purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But those that were using like the S9 and things like that, they were using this to the point where they were like satisfied. So if they're dropping another A line like the A71 and it does supposedly have a flagship camera, then that's a winner right there. But once again, that's going to have to come with, the proof is going to be in the practice. Like once people actually get their hands on it and actually put out like, this is proof of photos and pictures that I've taken with the phone. Like for right now, I'm still going to remain just like on the outside watching and be like, okay, I got to see what it is like until like it actually comes out. But, because we know they overhyped the daggone Ultra when that dropped this year. You had 108 megapixel camera, and when it came to proof of concept, I mean, yeah, you did have 108 megapixel camera, but the zoom was trash beyond like 30x.
Oh yeah.
So once again, I gotta wait till the phone comes out. I don't have Verizon, so I'm not in that market to be able to get it. But here's one thing about Verizon, and if you watch Jay Williams is kind of my claim to fame of coming onto YouTube. Like he inspired me to put out
Jay Williams. Trying to remember who that is.
And he's he recently hit like 100,000 subs this past year. But
Isn't it sports analysis?
Say what?
Isn't that a sports analytic, Jay Williams?
No, Jay Williams on YouTube. He does tech reviews.
So, okay.
So definitely check him out whenever you get a chance. But yeah, he's one of the people that was talking about.
Oh, I know him. I'm sorry. Yes, I know him.
But yeah, he's one of the people that was talking about the A series. He loves it. So, but yeah, like once again, once the phone comes out, we'll see. But there's another thing I noticed about Verizon is that their phones, like on their website, their phones are locked down for like 3 months, and then you can actually use that phone, or either one you could get it unlocked, I believe, through Verizon, or it it is usable. Because my very first video that I did on YouTube was a Moto. Um, I didn't forget. It was a long time ago. It was the Moto, the when you had the Moto mods. I had that phone, the Moto Play. I had that one, and it was a Verizon phone, even though I had T-Mobile. Like for a while, Verizon's phones were unlocked, and you could literally just, at least when they became GSM. So you could literally take a Verizon phone and put a T-Mobile SIM in it and still use it. But now they have it locked down for like 3 months. So for me, even when that thing drops, I wouldn't even be able to use that thing until like 3 months after it's out.
Yeah. I don't know who your cellular provider is, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. I don't know who you have. But if you have T-Mobile or Sprint by any chance, but they're getting rid of. But if you had those, you could get the A71 5G standard without the Verizon special, and that would do you good. It would support. I think it supports sub 6, so you'd be fine. That's basically like what T-Mobile's preferred 5G.
Yeah.
For me, I think the mid-range, I'm a little bit more happier because I believe that it saves you more money because you don't have to pay thousands for a smartphone. I mean, the mid-ranges do lack on software support in terms of their updates, but that's a good thing because you don't have to keep constantly updating your phone every single time there's a security patch or whatever. I mean, it's not like behind on security patches, but I'm talking like One UI and stuff. You don't have to keep waiting and waiting. It just comes at a certain time when it's ready. And for me, most people don't even care. They just use the software that comes in the phone, unless you're Apple, of course. But, excuse me, the only cutbacks with this phone that I've noticed was it has a plastic back. The display is 1080p. The form factor is similar to the Note 10 Plus, and realistically, maybe the CPU. That's it. Everything else is about the same. You get an OLED display, you get a 48 megapixel rear sensor, and then a 12 megapixel telephoto, 10 megapixel ultra wide. Then you have a fourth camera on there. So this thing has the things of a flagship. Now, of course, it could just be, but I think that's where all the money really goes to, is the camera performance. I really think that's where it goes to. I don't know. Maybe you got to wait and see. But me, I would honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but if somebody was to send me this phone, I would probably use it for a whole year and just to see how it is to use a mid-range. Okay. Because, I mean, I know I'll miss wireless charging, but you have fast charging. It supports power delivery fast charging. So why not? If you offered me the A71 5G and asked me to use it for a whole year and do a review, why the hell not? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, and even though you listed 1080p as maybe a caveat, but I don't see it as a caveat because you've got plenty of flagship phones that are still dropping 1080p displays. So really? For a mid-range phone to still do that, I'm gonna say that's on par. But either way, I mean, it's still a solid phone, like for what they're offering. So,
absolutely, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing, how sales go with that phone and how well that camera performs.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely monitor it, and if anybody else wants to slide me an A71 5G, you know where to find me. All right.
I guess the setback for me is that I don't have 5G in my area. I'm in North Carolina. Like, I don't even know if there's 5G available. It would have to be Charlotte, and
there is 5G, but it's not 5G you're thinking. It's not real, true, native, game-changing 5G. My father has a house in North Carolina in Greensboro, near that area. He has a bit, yeah, and then there's one. Forgot where it was. No, that's Florida. The place is in. It's like where a golf course is. It's basically those areas. But in those areas, it's mostly LTE plus because they are updating the bandwidth. But I will say that the 5G that you see is not the T-Mobile true native 5G, and Caleb and so many people can speak on that. Those are engineers that work for T-Mobile.
Okay. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they're not using like the millimeter wave. At least that's not their. I do believe they do have some cities, like very few that do have the millimeter wave, but they're using, like you said, their LTE plus or whatever you want to call it, because I believe they're using like the, if I'm not mistaken, is it the 600 megahertz spectrum or so that they'd be able to penetrate walls better.
I
So
heard.
so it's definitely not true, like you said, true for it's not true 5G. It's like a hybrid.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I just hope, by the grace of God, hopefully they finally get these 5G speeds ready, because I cannot tell you, seeing my mom's S20 Plus with 5G on it and knowing it's not 5G infuriates me. She paid all that money, and the phone probably won't even make it before 5G really makes it to the speed. All right, we got one final story. We've made it, guys. This is the last story, and then we're going to close the show. So we made it 2 hours. This is the longest stream that I have done. This is officially the longest stream I have ever done. So comment down, everybody, hashtag endgame. We are in the endgame now. Thank you all for coming on live. We're not done yet. We got the final story, but I just want to take this time for those of you that stayed on for the full 2 hours. Thank you all so much. Last story, the one I was trying to wait for Sam if he was on, but we'll cover it together. Mint Mobile. Now, if you don't know about Mint Mobile, it's one of those cheaper versions of those carriers. So they have the premium carriers, the big three, and then you have the side coverages, like for example, Boost. Dish just bought Boost, and Metro by T-Mobile, things like that. Cricket. This is one of those companies, Mint Mobile. The reason why Mint Mobile was so popular, from what I remember, was Ryan Reynolds bought the company and started making a big pitch about it. Now, Mint Mobile works under the T-Mobile LTE antenna system, so they don't have their own equipment. They just use their signal to help. And the way it works is that it's kind of electronic. When you buy it on the device, it works automatically. It uses a SIM card. They do send you one, but it works right away when you buy the service on the phone. So that's one of the few things I noticed, because I was reading this review, and a lot of people are questioning why they would want to go with the big three carriers if something like Mint Mobile can do about the same performance and has 5G support, whatever 5G it is, but has the support and has it, but for a fraction of the cost. Now, with Mint Mobile, the prices are very different. You don't have unlimited data, but you have unlimited talk and text. Data, it goes on base of your needs. The highest they have, I think, is like 12 gigs of data, but eventually they'll probably have an unlimited plan. And it shows you get 4G LTE mobile hotspot with your monthly data cap. You have Wi-Fi calling, unlimited talk and text to Mexico and Canada, visual voicemail. You get all this stuff, but for a fraction of the price. And my question to you, the last question of the day, and then we will get going, or the night, is why would anyone want to consider these companies over something like T-Mobile and Verizon? I'll go first, and then I'll close it out. You could close it out. I think the reason why people are looking at these options is because there's more choices. Since T-Mobile and Sprint merged, there's now 3, and now Dish will probably be entering with their 4th carrier. So you'll start to get the choices back. But a lot of people probably just can't get the money. They can't afford it. And with the status of T-Mobile right now and where they're heading, things don't look too good for them. So consumers are trying to find the next best deal, the best thing for their money. And I think that Mint Mobile, from what I've seen, has a lot of positive feedback. It's very interactive with your phone. You can monitor your data. You can do a lot of things. And for me, I see that company as potential. And I like the idea that and what's funny is that customers say Ryan Reynolds literally leaves a worldwide voicemail once in a while just because he's bored. He literally calls up every customer that's on Mint Mobile and just goes, "Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and I'm really bored here, so I just wanted to call all my customers and just say thank you for." And I'm just like, Ryan Reynolds is so awesome. So my question to you is, why would somebody want to consider something like Mint Mobile when they can go Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever? And there's probably more value to be given. But I want to hear what you have to say.
So I was just perusing through their website as you were talking about it myself, just so I can look at it and be versed as far as my opinion. So looking at Mint Mobile, I mean, obviously the number one factor is the price. When you look at their bottom tier plan, $15 a month for 3 gigs of data. I mean, granted, 3 gigs is not much. That's not much to use, but for somebody who's older, like let's say, people who are grandparents age right now. Let's say somebody who's like, 70, maybe even 65 to 70, and they don't use a lot of data. Like, let's say if they stay home and they just pretty much use Wi-Fi a lot, that could be an ideal plan for them for $15 a month. And especially nowadays that, you know, retirement is getting worse and worse, like Social Security and all of that. So $15 is not a lot to ask for. So I think that'll be a good plan for them. And I believe the highest tier plan they have is like $25 for like 12 gigs of data. Like for me personally, I don't even think I use 12 gigs. I stay in Wi-Fi a lot. Like I'm at home and at work, I'm using Wi-Fi. So I'm not even using my data. So therefore, I don't really hit my data, even though I've got unlimited, and then I think it's unlimited with a cap that supposedly there is a cap somewhere in a plan. I think like once you go over like it's in fine print for T-Mobile. Like once you go over like I think 24 or 30 gigs or something like that, then they start looking at you. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, I definitely don't even use 12. But for $25 a month, man, that's a win. Like you can't get any better than that. And also when you look at as far as the phone plans, like they follow the same format. Like you can go get your phone and you can buy a phone through them, and then you can just do it month to month, or you can even bring your own phone and literally just save money on your bill. So that company is all savings. That's like the purpose. That's the end game. Hashtag end game. But yeah, I mean, that seems like, to me, it seems legit. Like I just hope they stay on for a while, because like you said, I know Ryan Reynolds, he's involved with it, but hopefully they stick around for a while, because those are very attractive prices.
Absolutely. I would like them to have a unlimited data plan. I would like to see an unlimited data plan, because when you put in an unlimited, that gives you more of a proposition. You could raise the price by $10 or more, $45, and it's for the first 3 months. That's the price. But then if you like it, you can get a year plan. It's worth that much. You pay this much for a month, and it gets cheaper if you do it long term. So there are some things they do have to work out, but I actually am one of a supporter for Mint Mobile. It looks very compelling, and it's honestly something I will definitely consider if I get older and I decide to, ditch T-Mobile. Although I am still at T-Mobile, I'm going to stick with them, and I think they are great. I would honestly consider Mint Mobile because it does use the same T-Mobile technology. It's just that it has a different name. Now, something I want to clarify to everybody, and then we'll end the show. Mint Mobile doesn't actually charge you extra data. So basically, it's technically unlimited. It's just after the 12 gigs of data, that's high speed you're paying for. It's after that, then they deprioritize you. The reviewer goes on to say he didn't see a change in his bill. He didn't see anything. It just deprioritized him, and the speeds were slower. So technically, it is unlimited, but they don't say it.
Yeah.
So that's really where I stand. I agree with you 100%. It's great in value, great in choice, and I really, really think that it's and oh my goodness, this man just used 5. What? I use like 46 gigabytes of data a month, and that's for music streaming and everything. That's crazy. Thank God you got T-Mobile, Maverick. They don't charge you overages or data caps. Well, they don't charge you that much. Yeah, I think they prioritize you after 50 gigs. Damn, that's crazy. But I agree with you, though. I 100% agree with that statement. I do think that there is a good value, and I hope that more consumers become aware and don't feel bad if they want to decide to, go that route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like you said, it's a great value for the money.
Absolutely. And considering nowadays where people really can't afford much, a lot of money nowadays, it is understandable why they want to go that choice. And that's it. Wow. We went full 2 hours. Unbelievable.
We over here breaking Technoid records.
Breaking Technoid records and setting records. Well, listen, guys, this was by far a great live stream. As always, whenever I have a guest on, there's always a great live stream. And this one was no different. This was a great live stream. Before I end the show, I always do two things. One, I always have a little message for all the guests that come on my show. And number two, I allow the guests to promote their channel. So what I'm going to do, Alpha, is I'm going to step out for just a second. I'm going to put myself off screen. I'm going to give you the opportunity to promote your channel. I'm going to pull up your channel right here. So the floor is yours. Go right ahead. Say what you want to say about yourself. Let everybody know. And floor is yours.
Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, he's already done promoted me and stuff like that before the stream started. So, but yeah, essentially for those that caught the tail end of the stream, my name is Alpha Rakama, or I go by Rakama Tech. So you can always catch me on both either Instagram or Twitter with the same handle, Rakama Tech. But yeah, I pretty much do. I know he does all like the news, like every day, every couple of days he's dropping a news video. For me, I've been probably putting out videos once a week. I'm probably going to up that to 2, if I can 3, because I do a lot of things. Like I got work and I got stuff that I'm doing outside of YouTube. So, but ultimately, I do tech reviews. So not only cell phones, but I will do headphones, earbuds, those kinds of things too. I'm also still in the process of working on my smart home. I'm gonna do a series called Smart Home Basics, and I've actually been in the works. That's like a long delayed series, but that's gonna be upcoming pretty soon. I'm gonna start with the Google Home, and I'm gonna talk about Google Lights, not Google Lights, but smart lighting, and alarm systems and cameras and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. But with that, I think we're pretty much done. I think Mike, you back?
I'm here. I was just watching you. Yeah, we're about done. So only last thing to do is my little message that I like to give YouTubers whenever they come on. So for starters, like I always tell everybody, I want to take this time to say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you. It's one of those rare situations where you watch a YouTuber and, when you watch them, you don't really think about it, but I'm going to be honest with you. When I was watching your videos and I took a dive into your older videos, you and I were not so different. The truth, I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I'm a lot younger and stuff, we both did the same thing. We started out with gaming. I saw you had the Wii U. Then you started doing tech. Then, you did movies and stuff. You were feeling out, doing different things. Am I right in saying that?
Well, I think it was the Switch what you're referring to, but that's fine.
The Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I kind of decided to zero in on tech. Like I started off doing some movie reviews, because I started kind of YouTube doing things that I like. Mm-hmm. And so what kind of really stuck has been pretty much the tech, obviously. So there's nothing wrong with doing movie reviews and all of that, but it just didn't really garner much attention. So I just decided to stick with tech. And every now and then I might drop gaming that might be tech related. Like this upcoming video I'm working on is this Google Stadia. Mm-hmm. So I decided to check it out, see how it is. And I have some thoughts, and I'm gonna put them down in that video when I do it. So it's good and bad with Stadia. It's good and bad, but it's not enough to me. Google Stadia is not enough to keep me on it. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna spoil the whole video, but there's some good and bad with it. I can see the good. I can see the potential. I can see the future actually being gaming in this type of a format. But there are some things that need to be worked out. Especially there are some things exclusive to Stadia that they could improve on from my experience. But I'll talk about that whenever I do decide to drop that video.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I can't wait to see that video. But really just going back to what I said, and I'll end it. We did the same things. The truth is, when I started out, I did that. I did a lot of things trying to get attention. And the truth is, it was not working for me. So I just started to go clean. And I found that tech was really more of my flow. So that's when I went all in on that. And it's kind of interesting because when you were talking and I realized how much more we were in common. We both did things to figure out what we wanted to do. We did different things. We talked certain areas, but then we found the one common thing that, was working for us, and it was tech. And I watched your reviews. I watch everything on you. I watch all your videos. And, you know, they're excellent. They're great videos, and I think Sneed pointed out earlier, it's that these are things we can relate because, you know, as you get bigger, your content grows and stuff. But sometimes people don't really have the content that can relate to the average viewer. With you, I find that I can relate 100%. I'm only 20 years old. I know I got a long ways of life to live, and there'll probably be a little more experience to come. But as of where I sit, because I buy my own stuff and I'm also curious, I can tell you safely that I relate whenever you make a video. The best budget for your money, like the boom mic, the speakers, the stereo setup, because you want to give people as much, how to upgrade your PlayStation hard drive, the news and rumors and stuff. Like those are things that I can relate to because those are the things that I do in my life. So I just wanted to point out that you and me aren't too far off in terms of how we go. And I want to say that's why I was willing to bring you on and get you exposed, because I know how hard it is. Because sometimes, you know, when you start out, most people don't really back you, but, you know, you got to grow by yourself and eventually. And I know how hard it is. I've been doing YouTube since 2017. Well, I took it seriously then. I really started 2009, but I was doing it just for a joke. It wasn't until 2017 I said, that's when I want to fully take it. So it took me 3 years to get 1,500 subs, and I'm proud of it. That's hard work, sweat, blood, and tears. And you've been on the platform just as long, and you've gotten great at it, and you're starting to build your audience. I can only hope that with my viewers and also hopefully Sam's, we can help you, because I know what it's like to struggle, and I know how hard it is when you want to try different things and then you find it and then you got to grow the audience. I know firsthand. And that's why I brought you on. I want people to see what you do. I want people to see how much of a nice guy you are. But most of all, I just don't want you to struggle, because I want you to get a nice boost and you keep going up and you keep going. And I'm glad I brought you on, and I'm glad we talked, because not only did people see what I saw in you, a fun, relaxed person that could talk tech, but I saw somebody that's just a normal guy. They're not a robot. They're not nothing. It's just a nice guy. And you bring a lot to the table. And I'm telling you guys, if you are not subscribed to this man, you got to do it now. I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this on replay, please subscribe to Alpha's channel. I will leave the link at the end of the video. So listen, dude, I am really happy you came on. I want to officially welcome you into the Technoid Nation. If you ever want to come on live, I will always send you an invite. You are more than welcome to join me if you're available. If you ever want to talk, you want to collab, I'm always here. I'm willing to help you out. Whatever you need, if you need any advice, or, well, I don't know if I'm the guy to go to, but if you need anything of any kind in terms of content or anything at all, you could reach out. And I hope we team up again. I would like to see you on Show and Tech. I don't know if you're familiar with Show and Tech, but we are going to work something out. He's going to be coming back. I could bring you on if you'd like. You could talk to me more about it later on. But listen, what'd you say?
I was going to say, yeah, I've seen Show and Tech. He was on one of your recent streams. I mean, he's a regular guy, but yeah, I've seen him before.
He's also another nice guy. But the thing is that I just want to say at the end of it, thank you once again for coming on, and I really appreciate you taking your time out to come on my channel. Everybody, this is Alpha Rakama Tech. Did I get it right?
Yep, you got it.
Hey, you get it. Guys, definitely check him out. Very fun individual, very good humor, personality. Please give him a sub. If you guys want to see his channel, I will pull it up one more time. And that's gonna do it for the live stream. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Thank you to everybody that stayed with us for the full 2 hours. This was one of my favorite streams by far. As always, guys, everybody, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you want. That helps circulate as well. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and peace.
All right.